need the WaaGwan TV. Yeah, you need the WaaGwan right now. Yeah, you watch the WaaGwan TV. Yes, the original Soom T. Rolling on the open road, rockin' roll, the wheel of the spinning on the road. Sorry, I'm going nowhere and I'm stuck fast in the mud. Don't wanna miss no road. Push it, I'll get me on top of your back. Push it, gonna freedom won't back. Push it like you've never pushed before from next to the side. Push it some more. So we got to do the suitcase and I book it for the wall. Cause we had another letter where we let it go. Tell me you put a sign and I'm a bad next to you. Me and the other people, there's a sound of at least. We wake up and tap up and then grab the bucket with you. Try to get it under the cover when they touch out that squeeze. But I tried to lie to me on the end of it. But I'm a big shot at the room where I go with the beat. Need to push it, give me on top your back. Push it, don't afraid I won't back. Push it like you never pushed before from day to bullet stack. I'll push it some more. So we got to do that.
You can tell about your story when you began that in free party, free parties when you were young.
Yeah.
Just talk about that.
Well, it all started off when I was born, kicking and screaming, and I was born in Glasgow. We used to live off place, in a place called George's Cross. I used to say Maryhill because I thought it was cool from a rougher area. But the truth is, George's Cross is kind of like in the middle of the city. So you're brought up with a lot of madness. If you live in the middle of the city, you know so much going on. You can choose to do so many things. So as you grow older, you choose whether you're going to be a goth, or a punk, or a rocker. And I felt I always had friends from so many different music scenes. So I would just hang about with them all. So I learned a lot about a lot of different music. Then when I was about 17, I'd already been rapping, practicing since I was a young girl. When I was 17, I got my first job in a club called Archeos. Very cheesy dance music club. But it was still good fun, because I would get 50 quid, which was a lot of money for being 17. Like pocket money, and I wasn't allowed to drink alcohol in the club, but they would give me a can of Iron Brew, which is like, you know, sugary soft drink. And so I started doing it, you know, just rubbish MCing, like, yeah, everybody make some noise, scream if you want to go faster. Just complete bullshit over rave music. As time went on, I met so many different musicians. I started MCing for an old school sound system called Shake the Disease. They used to invite very old 80s and 90s rave acts, like Shades of Rhythm, Utah Saints, or used to invite them to Glasgow to play, and I would be able to introduce them, maybe do some rapping songs, only 2 or 3.
So
Through that,
you were 17 at this point?
At this point I was 19. So this is 2 years later, I kept doing it.
Okay.
I was in a few bands, and then when I was 19, I started working with far more people. Then when I was 21, I met Alex Patterson from Lyon. He was the one that introduced me really to kind of the music scene, and to be honest, it was just good fun really. It was like, I wasn't prepared for anything, it was just like, I'll go in the studio and record, it's good fun, just rapping away, you know, getting drunk afterwards, getting invited to parties all the time, getting to go to other countries. I thought this is great fun. I never really took it seriously as a career, I think I took it for granted. But as I got older, I realised, wait a minute, there's so many different music styles that I've enjoyed to perform with it, like folk music. I was in a jazz band, I do gypsy Balkan music, in kind of metal punk bands. Then the No Step project is new rave. It's like electronic metal style music, produced with Hagos. Hagos used to produce for Sensor. Good metal style. I roll it, poke it, light it, smoke it, grumbles, drumble, there's a buzzing and a token, he said, those no bones to get a bit of hope, suck it, bucket, the nails, the carstone, press the net, you attract the best flow, triple X, a tiger, when a white widow, he said, the wagon, Juanita, and KGB, I can get enough of what the devil's weed, he said, if you name, keep up the diva. Again, but I'll say I don't worry about sucking on the cognac. For me, the most important thing I used to always write political lyrics. When I was young, it wasn't intentional. I think maybe it was just in my heart how I felt, and I never consciously wrote, lyrics politically. But as I grew older, I started looking back at songs I wrote when I was young. I used to think, it's weird. As I get older, I get more and more angry about what I was singing about when I was 17. So I realised there must have been some fateful element involved with what I would end up doing. So I started taking it far more seriously and actually realising that I would use all the styles of music to push the same message. What message is that? It's a message to basically, as cliche or cheesy as it may sound, usually you find the industry, the hierarchy, the commercial world tries to make people who say things like, we're trying to tell you, artists who say, I want to tell you the truth. The truth is, you're being lied to. The truth is, everything that's sold to you is, a lot of the things that are sold to you by corporations are actually, in a roundabout way, poisoning you long term. The plastics are turned into persistent chemical compounds, PCPs, which end up, they don't break down. So hundreds of, 50 years later, they're ruining the fertility of women. And yet, we're still drinking water out of these plastic bottles because it's very difficult to get in glass bottles. So you start seeing things in society that you don't think are quite right. Like, for example, Diet Coca-Cola, it has aspartame in it. When aspartame is heated up, it turns into something completely poisonous, which actually affects your insides and it gives you cancer, it causes blindness, all sorts of illnesses. People hit 50 years old, they wonder why they're sick, why they've got cancer, but they don't realise that actually it's because they were brainwashed into putting their trust into a lot of big companies. Even the television, I don't watch it, I've not watched it in 5-6 years, because I realise that the television is aimed at modifying your behaviour by conditioning you not to have any concentration. If you don't have concentration, you're just like a child. If you don't have any concentration, you can't learn anything. So you can't learn what's right for you and what's wrong for you. You don't realise that everything that's being promoted in the media is bad and wrong. So I think the bottom line, before I go on a complete rant, the bottom line is I realised that there were a lot of problems in society, in the world today, that people were ignoring because they're too busy being taken in by this glamorous celebrity bullshit culture. And that's what it is. It's complete nonsense. And they're trying to take away the real artistic sense of decency in people. They're trying to rubbish real art, the people that are trying to tell you the truth, and the people that are just complete morons are being celebrated so that young children aim to be like these morons instead of aiming to imitate people that they should be trying to.
One chance, one time, one life. Did I want to the night? Will I be your life? I don't need your dirty, dirty. I don't need your dirty money. I don't need your dirty, dirty. Keep on saying and I keep on waiting. I don't need your dirty, dirty. I don't need your dirty money. I don't need your dirty, no. I need that joker. Did I really want to rock and touch with money to the rock beside me? I never really I want to do shut. Never really for the rich. Are you trying? The realize that I'm stuck with up to it. I am fucking really put it on my own. But do I really want to work again? I'm going. All you do, the night sounds so good. But that's not a ring, so there's no to take. Yeah, I want to take it, what I bring. Into the mix, and I'm going to do your intake. The application, I'm giving a name. And it causes all your grief. I just do the right to go to see. This is how I do it, yes, that's sweet. They both there's something I put it for me. I don't need your dirty, dirty. I don't need your dirty money. I don't need your dirty, dirty. Keep on being, and I get on with it.
I was young. I thought I would respected people like Gandhi, Martin Luther King. My father would tell us these are great people. They spent their life dedicated to the human race as a whole, to help other people. Surely that's the only point of life, to spend your life helping other people. But instead they try and push this view that the only important thing is to look good, just get as much money as you can so you can show off to your neighbour and keep up with the Joneses. But what happens if you save up millions and billions and you're walking about with sunglasses like, yeah, look at me in my suit? When you die, what's the question you're going to ask yourself? Are you going to ask yourself, did I make millions and do really well for myself? Or did I do anything for my friends, my brothers, my sisters, my fellows? Did I do anything to help them? Or did I only do things to help me? If I only did things to help me, then if there is a hell, the chances are I'll be going there. If there's not a hell and I have to come back to the same earth, I'm not coming back with this blessed life. I've just made all these billions, dedicated my life to this material thing that's gone. The only thing that remains is your soul. That's what I believe. If you die, the only thing that remains is your soul. What makes your soul rich? What makes your soul good? By helping other people, by giving out good positive energy, giving out good education, trying to teach your brothers, going and learning yourself so that you can realise what the real truth is out there, so that you're not just a brainwashed psycho patient, mental patient, being completely coerced by the television, the media. You don't believe any of it because you realise that you have a more important mission. That mission being just to tell the truth, to tell people, if you're really bad and you're very selfish and you only care about yourself and you spend all your time working hard to get material possessions, they don't last. That does not last. The only thing that lasts is how strong your soul is when you've dedicated your life to trying to help other people. Not just by sharing your knowledge, not just by giving them good vibes, positivity, love and friendship, but actually going out of your way to help them if you see them suffering. That suffering also includes conditioning against their soul and their spirit. For example, they're being conditioned by the media to go into practices that are bad for them. The media seems to promote, cocaine's cool, all of the big celebrities and models take cocaine. Cocaine is a soul destroyer. Don't take that. What are you doing? So the point that I'm trying to make is that you should be teaching your friends, don't let the media make you look like a sad idiot because everyone else is saying, no, it's cool to wear this label clothes, it's cool to take cocaine. Even if you're the only one in a big room with a lot of people that you think you respect, to say, wait a minute, I don't respect any one of you. The media may present you as this great artist, or this great person, or this great individual, but look what you do to yourself. You take cocaine, you don't even respect the gift that somebody else has given you. Instead you destroy it, and use it to help destroy the minds of other people by teaching the young that it's cool to do this, just so that the hierarchy and the corporations give you a wee little pat on the back and say, I'm so glad, now you're going to teach all the smaller generation, your younger generation, your own children, you're going to teach them to be greedy, selfish, self-serving, self-indulgent, to poison themselves with bullshit that's just going to kill them, instead of telling them, by the way, you don't need any of that. You don't need any of it. All you need is to go and find other people and dedicate your life by learning things about the world that you're in, by being decent to other people, by being kind, by not judging them and saying, I don't want to talk to you because you don't have the right clothes on, or some people don't like you because they think you're not very cool, or because you don't talk much, you don't have a cool attitude. This person's probably a genius, but they're just very quiet and they're shy for whatever reason. You should be welcoming everybody without any judgment whatsoever, whereas the media teaches you the opposite, to judge everybody unless they adhere to their corporate policy and their corporate advertising, to look this way, to swallow all the press, to swallow all the the way you should dress, what you should eat, what you should take, how to go and party. Complete nonsense. And it's so sad to see people that you should respect, people that have worked very hard at university and left with brilliant jobs, who end up with coke habits and really depressing. They're very depressing. It's not inspiring. You should dedicate your life to inspiring other people to be good and decent. It's as simple as that. Imagine you said to them, you don't have to spend all your life working. Get a job and work 5 hours a week. Make just enough to buy enough food to eat. Spend the rest of your time helping others or dedicating to what you love. If the good Lord gave you a talent, you should go and use that talent, even if it's painting. Because even if it's difficult to practice that talent and make a living from it in the early days, if you work hard and dedicate, the universe will help you. Because the universe helps good people who try and help themselves and help other people. But people only care about themselves. The universe takes it away from them. So whatever gifts the universe gave to these people, they take it away because they said, I gave you this gift, but you used it just to be greedy, to feed your own ego, to just love yourself and to spread poison to the people that you're supposed to be helping because they look up to you and respect you. But instead you took that power and you were corrupted by it. Lord of the Rings is actually amazing for that. Because the Ring of Power, in my opinion, was the representation of the power that every human being is given. Special talents. Some people have a special talent for talking, some for music, some for different art, some for writing, some for sports. If they use that talent and take care of their body, respect their time, don't spend all their time sleeping till 2, they get up in the morning and respect the time that the universe has given them, then the universe will reward them and say, good, you are a child of mine. And for that reason, no harm will come to you. Have no fear and don't be afraid. So that's basically why I got into music. And that's why I decided that's the message I want to spread to as many people as possible, irrelevant of how acceptable it is to the mainstream media. I still have a good time. I stay in this little underground pocket and I meet beautiful people like yourselves, beautiful people like the people out there, and I love spreading a little love and getting it back. It's a beautiful little sea of loveliness, and that's the meaning of life. And that's why I got into music, and that's why I still do it today. Doesn't matter what genre it is. Right at the moment I do a bit of reggae with Jatari, Mungos Hi-Fi. Jatari from Leipzig, a brilliant crew. And Jan actually is a big inspiration for me because he is on the same page. When I first met him, he believes exactly the same. Peace, love, goodness, unity, spreading positivity. Don't do anything for your own selfish reasons. Use your gift to share with other people, to help them, to share, to help everyone be a bit more united, to change their mind about what they've been indoctrinated into, to pull them away from that and make them realise, no, you're better on our side. Our side is the side of light. That's why I think it's important that real art and real music is supported by good people like the small promoters who bring you to all countries and let you give this message. Because you'll never get this message in the mainstream media. It's always watered down. It's actually bad. It's so evil. I can't watch TV anymore because it makes me so angry. I think, how dare they? How dare they celebrate guns and they turn these little 12-year-olds into these little gun-toting gangsters? The people that say, you can't blame, oh, you're just an old granny. You can't blame, the way a child turns out on music. Complete nonsense. You're influenced. This is, the Toltecs knew this, the Mayans knew this, the Brahmins knew this. Every ancient religion in the world always say what determines what you become when you're older, when you grow up, is determined by exactly what went through your vision, what you heard from your what you picked up through your auditory senses, or optically what you picked up through your eyes. That affects. I know what I know because I was taught by my father, would speak to me. You know what you know about reggae because you heard it, because you saw it. Otherwise, you wouldn't know anything about it.
So we have to go.
Don't worry, well, that's why I do music. I hope that was enough.